Hello humans, I'm Yoshiller, and it's that time of the year again, the time in which I review the previous year by discussing its highs and lows so that I may better determine how to create content and pursue my career going forward. Except, it's March. We're already 2 months into the year of 2022. So yeah, it's not a good look to start things off by having my plans for the year video be months late. But the reason that this video is so late is because I wanted my leftover 2021 projects to be completed before I properly pursued my 2022 projects. Namely, I wanted to ensure that my Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity walkthrough and my Animal Crossing New Horizons daily gameplay video series were both fully uploaded before I uploaded this video. Both of the projects that I just mentioned technically started in 2020, but they occupied a majority of my year in 2021, and I wanted to make sure that they were completely finished before I discussed my future 2022 plans. And so, at this point, the big project from 2021 that still remains unfinished is my walkthrough for New Pokemon Snap, so that'll be my next pursuit. Plus, I wanted to make sure that shortly after uploading this video, I could begin what I'm referring to as my 2022 initiative. I wanted to get back into a daily upload schedule, and I thought it'd be weird to upload this video discussing how I wanted to get back into daily uploads and then have a weird gap between this video and my daily uploads. So in the background, I've been trying to create a little bit of a bulk of videos. I haven't gotten too many videos done in advance, but I at least have a couple ready, so with any luck, I'll be able to upload daily at least for a little bit. But there are plenty of other topics I'd like to discuss regarding my plans for 2022 and how I plan to view the highs and lows of the past year, 2021, in hopes of creating a better, more productive strategy for my videos as I attempt to move forward. And I suppose the most appropriate place to start this video's discussion would be to look at 2021 as a whole, and then break down what I accomplished or didn't accomplish throughout the year. In the grand scheme of things, I actually felt as though I was able to try a lot of different things throughout the year, at least given the circumstances. Really, an easy way to see how different my content was in 2021 compared to 2020 is to look at the footage I've been using throughout this video, and then look at the footage that I used in my 2020 recap. My footage in this video was much more diverse and varied, and that's simply because I just did a lot more stuff this time around. Compared to 2020, where my year mostly consisted of Animal Crossing videos and Pokemon battles, I played a lot of different games in 2021, and I was actually able to fulfill a fair share of commitments that I had set in the past. Sure, my upload schedule wavered a bit toward the end of the year, but as a whole, the year did feel a lot more productive and fulfilling than 2020 did. I do admit that that's a bit of a low bar though, especially considering that 2020 was such a shakeup for everybody in the world, but an improvement is still an improvement. I played more games, fulfilled more tasks, and became more consistent. Of course, the overall growth of my channel was relatively stagnant, and the diversity of content in my channel often left something to be desired. See, I still had a heavy emphasis on Animal Crossing videos at the very start of 2021, and at the very end of the year too, and that was still a leftover project from 2020. Plus, I couldn't quite get as many Whatever Wednesday videos and walkthrough videos out as frequently as I had hoped. My intention has generally been to have walkthrough videos released on the weekdays and online multiplayer content released on the weekends. And in the middle of the week, there'd be my Whatever Wednesday videos to help provide some sort of breakup in my schedule in case my viewers weren't interested in the main content I was providing. This is the ideal upload schedule that I have been striving to pursue ever since about 2014. And so, when I initially recorded my Animal Crossing videos, they were just supposed to come out daily and come out alongside the videos in my ideal upload schedule. It was still supposed to be walkthroughs on weekdays and multiplayer matches on weekends, but there'd also just be an Animal Crossing video every day as well. But instead, what actually wound up happening was that I'd just upload a bunch of Animal Crossing videos, and the other content that I wanted to create just didn't come out as frequently. This was due to a multitude of reasons. For starters, the walkthrough that I had begun at the end of 2020 that continued into 2021 was for Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. When I began that walkthrough, I hadn't anticipated that many of the videos in the walkthrough would be hours long. Now, that's totally on me. I chose to format my walkthrough that way. The videos would be so long because I was generally categorizing each video into story missions and side quests, and so I would do any and all side quests that were available at a given time in one video. And so that would result in a video often being 1, 2, or even 3 hours long. And then there were the videos that were based on story missions, and sometimes those story missions just wound up taking an hour or so. I didn't want to split those in half, that would be weird. The result of this was that it was difficult to find time to record a different game on top of recording Animal Crossing content and editing content for other channels. I had hoped to finish my walkthrough for Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity by May so that I could easily change gears to New Pokemon Snap once that released, but what wound up happening instead was that I was still in the middle of Hyrule Warriors by the time New Pokemon Snap rolled around. So I just wound up switching gears to New Pokemon Snap, and I pumped out a bunch of videos of that game when it released, and then I jumped back to Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, and I decided that I would finish up that game entirely before resuming any other walkthroughs, because that was a game that demanded more of my focus since it came out first. I didn't want the project to linger on for too long. Plus, Age of Calamity had received 2 waves of DLC in 2021, which helped it regain a sense of relevancy during the course of the year. Since it was my intention to cover everything in the game anyway, including the DLC, I figured that I may as well shift my focus back to Age of Calamity while it was regaining interest among the general public. And that way, at least I wouldn't be too late in covering some sort of content within the game. I was already far behind in recording everything else in the game, but at least I wouldn't be too far behind in covering a topic that wasn't entirely deemed old news by the gaming community. That is to say, I was already far behind in completing Age of Calamity, but then the downloadable content made the game relevant again, so I decided to jump in on that. As a result, it meant that I was now far behind in covering New Pokemon Snap, but I couldn't win every battle. So I chose to pursue the game that was becoming more relevant at the time. But it wound up taking a lot longer than I had expected, and as a result, many of my viewers had moved on to the latest, greatest games, and I was creating walkthroughs for games that had essentially become irrelevant. Still, I'm devoted to finishing what I start, and I still intend to finish my New Pokemon Snap walkthrough even if people have moved on to other major Pokemon titles by now. The current goal is to wrap up that project so that I can go full force on the next game release, and so on and so forth. Really, the ultimate goal is, and generally has been, to maintain an upload schedule as consistently as possible while striving to improve my overall quality. Animal Crossing allowed me to be consistent in ways, but it wasn't necessarily improving my video quality with each passing video, you know? It just wasn't the intention of that series. But if nothing else, my Animal Crossing content did allow me to fill in gaps where there were otherwise empty spaces in my upload schedule. There is a plus side to all of my upload woes. In some areas, I was able to maintain a sense of momentum following certain game releases. Thanks to my Whatever Wednesday videos, I was able to create content on a variety of different games throughout the years, both new and old. And Mario Party Superstars in particular provided many great collaborative opportunities, as well as a nice little view bump for my channel at the time. I missed out on a fair share of major games throughout the year, sure, but I was at least able to record some of the new hot games while they were relevant, and I was able to pursue new collaborative opportunities and strengthen some friendships in the process. And on that note, I had previously stated that I wanted to try and record more multiplayer content for my channel, ideally having my online multiplayer matches feature a combination of me playing solo matches and me playing matches with friends. Well, I was able to do that. For a bit. I had a fair share of friend room sessions in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and I recorded that game more this year than I did in previous years. My momentum for Pokemon battling was fairly consistent, though I do admit that my Smash Ultimate and Splatoon 2 videos were mostly absent throughout the year. Still, there were at least a few weeks out of the year where I actually committed to my upload schedule. There was a good bit where I did have my walkthrough videos come out on weekdays, and I had online multiplayer content for Saturday and Sunday, with one of those days being a friend room session or something. And my Whatever Wednesday videos were coming out at a regular pace for a bit. And with those Whatever Wednesday videos, I was actually able to try out different styles of content too. I made a couple more casual videos whose styles were unlike other content that I'd uploaded to my channel in the past, and I managed to try out 1 or 2 videos that weren't exclusively focused on even playing a game. At least, perhaps not in the traditional sense. I was even able to fulfill some Whatever Wednesday videos that I said I'd do a long time ago, namely my Dragon Quest Builders 2 video and my commitment to recording another multiplayer round in Kirby Fighters 2. I was able to utilize this block in my upload schedule to experiment, and I'm relatively pleased with the results. All in all, despite my Whatever Wednesday videos not being created as frequently as I had hoped, they were created frequently enough with a sufficient amount of diversity that they really seem to be the highlight of my channel for the year. I'm glad that I was able to create what I did. I just wish I was able to create more of them. But Whatever Wednesday videos truly shine if the rest of my schedule falls into place, as they're supposed to act as a nice contrast to the rest of my content being uploaded around the same time. Whereas, if I exclusively made Whatever Wednesday videos, then my channel would become even more of an inconsistent hodgepodge of content than it already is now. So, in order to create more Whatever Wednesday videos and have those continue to shine, I need to create more of my other content too. The consistency is really important on all fronts. But again, those Hyrule Warriors videos were just taking too long to create, and the amount of work that I'd committed to finishing all of my other projects had just started to pile up. I knew I was taking on a lot of work trying to provide daily content for my channel across multiple games while also trying to edit for other channels, and on top of that, my content was varied. Sometimes I'd just do simple gameplay videos, and sometimes I'd make something akin to an editorial. Some things were time sensitive, so I often prioritized those projects, and as such, many of my other projects often fell to the wayside to the point where, by the time I finally did upload a certain video, it was way after it had initially been recorded. The thing is, I've been told time and time again just to focus on a few specific games and not to vary myself so much. But the problem is that I like so many different things that I fear that certain opportunities will pass me by if I don't pursue them on the spot. So I did try to pursue many games and projects on the spot, and now I'm seeing the aftermath of it. And some of the videos that I made were rather big commitments for payoffs that were rather small. I'd have to devote a lot of time to record a ton of footage for one video, and that video would need to be prioritized because it was time sensitive. And so that meant that all of my other projects would be paused while I finished work on one specific project. Then, when that project was done, I could get back to working on everything else. But anytime a time-sensitive project came along, that needed my focus the most. And so that resulted in my pipeline and upload schedule becoming a bit more sporadic as the year continued. And the thing is, when I work on a video, I want it to be the best it can be. I don't often get to redo videos, you know, so it'd be nice to have a video be awesome the first time it goes out. And so I pour a lot of time into making just one video. I'll record 30, 40 hours of footage for one video that's only 30 minutes. And the returns I see on it are often small. And I don't like having to think of videos as a means to get a return, but it's often discouraging when I rarely ever see returns on videos that I pour a lot of effort into. And so when I started cutting back, that meant that most of the content I was putting out was my Animal Crossing content, and that lacked any sort of editing intensive material. That is to say, a majority of the videos on my channel in 2021 were just simple, straightforward gameplay videos. Sure, that was the intention of my Animal Crossing videos and even some of my walkthrough videos, but the point of creating videos of that nature is to have consistent content be uploaded onto my channel while I use my extra time to edit more intensive projects in the background. But if I don't have the extra time to edit more intensive videos in the background, then that just leaves my channel with straightforward gameplay videos such as my Animal Crossing and walkthrough videos. It just becomes a gameplay hub, which under normal circumstances is fine, but that's not exactly what I want my channel to be. I guess that, to many, it doesn't really matter if my videos are editing intensive or not. Some people just want to see straight up simple gameplay videos. But it matters to me as I want to feel as though I'm growing as a creator. I want to hone my skills and feel as though I've moved into a better situation than what I was in years past. Only a select handful of the videos on my channel in 2021 featured what I would call editing intensive content. And even then, none of them were grand old videos. Some of the videos took a fair deal of time to create, but they weren't really editing intensive. And to be clear, when I use that term, I'm talking about videos that I could comfortably put in a portfolio. A video that's worth bragging about. Normally, those would be my editorial type videos, or something akin to my Road to Sakurai videos, and I hardly produced any of those types of videos on my channel in 2021. The most frequently I was able to create these editing intensive videos was at the introductions for a lot of my Pokemon Bata videos, and even then, they weren't that intensive. However, I was able to create those types of videos for a variety of other channels throughout the year. Somehow I managed to continuously provide content on my own channel while editing regularly for some other channels, and I can at least say that I feel some sense of fulfillment with my editing techniques when I look at some of the content that I created for others. In that sense, my desire to hone my skills and improve as an editor was fulfilled by the numerous different types of edits I got to create for the various channels that had commissioned me throughout the year. In 2020, I had just started to get comfortable with the idea of becoming a freelance editor and editing for other channels every once in a while. Now that I've grown more comfortable with the idea of editing for others, I found a better balance of editing for other channels and editing for myself. I hope to maintain this balance throughout 2022, as editing for other channels not only provides me a decent source of income, but it also allows me to flex my creativity muscles and try out different editing techniques that I may not utilize commonly on my own channel. Beyond that, editing for other channels has helped me direct some traffic to my own channel. My own channel has been flatlining in terms of growth. And yeah, playing the same 2 games for over a year once people have blatantly moved on to the next games will do that to one channel's viewership. So I have nobody to blame but myself. But I have others to thank for helping bring in some new audience members to my content. For better or for worse, I regularly see comments that say things to the effect of, "Hey, you're Arlo's editor," or "Hey, I saw that edit you made on Sugar Conroy's video," or "Hey, I saw you on such and such's channel." And I just enjoy knowing that my affiliation and collaboration with other creators seems to be benefiting me. Whereas in 2020, my strategy was initially to edit for a bunch of channels and really get my name out there, and I wound up editing for too many channels and wound up overwhelming myself instead. Then in 2021, with my knowledge of how to better handle things, I wound up in the fortunate position to edit for channels that I trust, that respect my time, and I managed to create more diverse content for my own channel as well. So while the growth of my channel in 2021 may not be anything to brag about, I can at least say that I started to regain my footing. Even though I wobbled a bit at various points throughout the year, I feel better about my performance in 2021 than I did in 2020. But I've reiterated that sentiment several times throughout this video. So now let's get to the important point. How will my sense of reflection of 2021 determine my sense of direction and content creation efforts in 2022? Consistency shall be the main goal. If I can just get back into the routine of regularly posting walkthrough videos on the weekdays, I'll consider that a success. And if I can get into the full routine of walkthroughs on the weekdays, online multiplayer content on the weekends, and whatever Wednesday videos every Wednesday, then I'll truly be rocking it. I also would like to bring up the topic of multiplayer videos in general. Throughout 2021, I was fortunate enough to record a large variety of multiplayer sessions across multiple different games. From the entirety of my Super Mario 3D World co-op walkthrough to various Whatever Wednesday videos to my Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sessions, I had a blast recording games alongside my friends. This is something that I'd love to continue into 2022. I'd like to find a balance between recording things on my own without friends and recording games with my friends. I've stated in previous years that if I could, I'd love to have my weekend videos have that balance. Since there'd be 2 videos every weekend, one for Saturday and one for Sunday, I'd ideally love to have one video focus on just me, maybe the Saturday video, while the Sunday video features a group of my friends. But that ultimately all comes down to the availability of my guests. With my daily Animal Crossing video series now at a close, multiplayer content may actually now be a bit more scarce, but I'll at least try to mix and match a few different player combinations for different multiplayer recording sessions in hopes of producing different results. I was able to pull that off with my Mario Party Superstars videos when I recorded content for that game on my channel. So here's hoping that I can pull off some similar feats as I move forward. I was fortunate enough to collaborate with a fair share of channels throughout 2020, and I was able to collaborate with even more channels in 2021. So I'd love to further my collaborative efforts in 2022, both in terms of having more guests on my channel and then appearing as a guest on the channels of others. I really enjoyed many of the opportunities that I had as a result of working with others, and I hope to continue working with others and create more opportunities as I continue to grow my channel in 2022. On that note though, let's discuss my weekend content. The big multiplayer series that I am currently recording are for Splatoon 2, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Pokemon Bata, and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Road to Sakurai. With Splatoon 3 having been officially announced for summer of this year, that'll mean that my Splatoon 2 series will need to come to a close soon. Truthfully, my activity in Splatoon 2 throughout 2021 was significantly lower than it was in 2020, so I guess it feels appropriate to finally conclude the series this year. But I imagine I'll have some sort of final push and conclusive final episode to make the most of the game before its sequel officially releases. And when Splatoon 3 does release, I hope to transition over to that game and continue making content with whatever the game chooses to throw at me. And hopefully I can consistently create videos of Splatoon 3 much like I did with Splatoon and Splatoon 2, and hopefully many of my friends will move over to that game too so that I can record all sorts of fun multiplayer videos with them. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was a game that I actually played more actively in 2021 than I did in 2020, but even then, it's a game that I likely could have played and recorded more frequently. It's generally an easier game to record, both with and without friends, and it's a game that still has an active community. And fortunately for me, Nintendo announced that this game is going to have a bunch of DLC over the coming months, so I only see the activity within this game growing. I already had plans to actively record this game throughout 2022, and the extra DLC will make it very easy to set up future recording sessions now that there will be renewed interest within the game. I also want to point out, in 2021, I recorded about 1 or 2 videos of the game each month, but if I were to consistently create online multiplayer content throughout the year, then I'd probably need to double the amount of times I'd record this game. Because the DLC for this game will be spaced out, it'll be easy to keep seeing spikes of interest in this game. Either way, I foresee my Mario Kart 8 Deluxe series only growing from here. It seems as though the game will be active for a few more years, and so for 2022 at least, I plan to create a bunch more content for it. Pokemon Bata saw a decent amount of uploads. It was a game that was simple to record and upload because I generally just show 1 or 2 matches per video. Sometimes there's a bit more pre-planning to each video than there is to something like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. At most, the amount of planning for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe would just be putting together a friend room session. For Pokemon Bata, I'm often rearranging my team and trying out new strategies, but that's what makes it fun, and I have fun discussing why I make the team that I do. And at least if I want to record a Pokemon battle against a friend, I generally only need to find 1 to 3 players to play against. And Mario Kart, if I only have 4 people for a session, I often feel that that's too small. The fun of a multiplayer session in Mario Kart is to have a bunch of friends, unless I'm playing with random players. In Pokemon, I can record with random players, or I can record with friends in small doses. So Pokemon Bata is generally the easiest series that I can record. However, Pokemon Bata is in a bit of a weird funk right now. The competitive metagame for Pokemon is still strong in Pokemon Sword and Shield, but we're in a weird phase right now. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl were released recently, and there's been no real shift toward a competitive side in those games. I mean, that's fine for me, since I enjoy competing more in Pokemon Sword and Shield anyway, but the result is that there's been this weird transition where people have tried to move over to Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, but they didn't really enjoy it, but then they didn't really really return to Sword and Shield, and I don't know how to feel. And so it's interesting. At the time of writing this video, I was going to announce that my series for Pokemon Bata, Sword and Shield would end at match number 151. 151 is a pretty significant number with regards to the Pokemon series, and I was almost there anyway. And I was gonna announce that whenever the next mainline Pokemon game with competitive multiplayer was announced, I'd just pick things up from there. Fortunately for me, the next mainline Pokemon games have been announced, and they're coming out toward the end of 2022. So that's perfect. Pokemon Bata for Sword and Shield will wrap up this year, and we'll have a fresh start with Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. I likely will do the same thing that I did with Pokemon Sword and Shield, in which I'll likely only record a multiplayer series and not a full walkthrough of the game's single player. I foresee myself being busy with a lot of other single player games, as 2022 is currently stacked with a lot of major titles having been announced. So I don't know that doing a walkthrough for Pokemon Scarlet or Pokemon Violet on top of all that is a great idea. But with regards to multiplayer content, I already stated earlier that Pokemon battles are generally easy to record, and I look forward to competing more once these games officially release. Regardless, that's another series that I guess I'll be launching before the year is over. And now we go from the series that's the easiest to record to the most difficult. There's Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Road to Sakurai. There's a lot that I'd want to do with this series, but each video takes a long time to create. Initially, I didn't mind that, but 2020 admittedly screwed over my plans that I had for evolving this series. And so, in 2021, I didn't really make any new videos in this series. I only uploaded one episode, and it was a long overdue video that was supposed to come out in 2020. It's a shame, as I still actively play Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and I still enjoy my time with the game. I've even still been competing, but it's been a little rough to create more videos of the game. I'd be interested in creating a couple smaller videos as something akin to a Whatever Wednesday video, like doing a 99 stock match or something, but as far as Road to Sakurai is concerned, it's been a bit on the back burner. Between the pandemic messing with my plans and the videos taking so long to produce, I've been a bit unmotivated to make more videos of the game despite the fact that I still actively enjoy playing it. I do want to create more videos of the game in 2022, and if I have some noteworthy achievements within the game, such as placing well at a tourney or participating in some sort of exclusive event, then I can guarantee that I'll make some sort of video addressing those moments. But as it stands, I really need to rethink a few things before I pursue more Road to Sakurai videos. I definitely want to resume the series and achieve the goals that I've set within it, but I'm a bit hesitant to promise anything right now. It's currently the series that I'm the most unsure about, if that makes sense. But if it means much, it's not canceled, it's just in limbo. But I imagine that Splatoon 3, Pokemon Scarlet, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's new DLC will keep me plenty occupied until I figure out what to do with my Road to Sakurai series. Beyond the weekend videos, I definitely want to create lots more Whatever Wednesday videos. I want to try out all sorts of styles of content and really utilize this block in my schedule to experiment. I want to maybe try some challenge-themed videos, and I'd love to create more editorials. I'd love to record games that I maybe grew up playing but showcase modes that I'd never experienced before. I want to document parts of games that many people may not have witnessed previously. I really want my Whatever Wednesday videos to be an experimental block where I could try out any type of video style that I can think of. And as I stated earlier in this video, this would serve as a great excuse to provide more multiplayer gameplay. I really want my Whatever Wednesday videos to be the series on my channel where I get to do whatever I want, hence the entire premise. Ideally, I would want my audience to say, oh boy, what's the Whatever Wednesday video this week? The point of my Whatever Wednesday videos was to initially provide a change of content in my schedule. So if people didn't enjoy the walkthrough videos I was creating at the time, they'd at least have my Whatever Wednesday videos to look forward to every week. I'd like to recapture that idea. The idea of giving my audience something to look forward to every week. Next, I feel as though it's important to explain types of content that I won't be doing. I think I'm done recording reaction videos. While it is nice to record and document my initial feelings about a reveal, I feel as though this type of filler content doesn't actively benefit me or my channel. I've noticed that the general audience seems to enjoy watching very specific people react to certain announcements, and I just can't match their reactions. I try to react as authentically as possible, and sometimes that doesn't lead to entertaining content. I enjoy watching the reactions of others, and I hope that others enjoyed the reactions of me, but I think I'd rather sit back and just enjoy certain presentations from now on rather than worry about setting up my equipment and recording my face. I'm glad that I was able to record my reaction to a fair share of things like the reveal of Kirby in the Forgotten Land or Sora's reveal in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, but I don't feel the need to record my reactions anymore. Plus, now that all of the newcomer fighters for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate have been revealed, part of me feels as though we're in a new era for things that could generate big reactions. I definitely look forward to seeing what else Nintendo has in store, but I just can't have these big screaming reactions like other people do, and as such, I don't think my reaction videos will be very popular. So I'm just gonna sit back and enjoy these presentations from now on. If I really feel the need to discuss my feelings toward a reveal, then I can always make a separate video anyway. So I guess that about summarizes everything. I obviously want to create more videos in a more consistent fashion. I want to take advantage of the fact that I'm no longer locked to Animal Crossing. Plenty of games that I would normally play anyway are either getting sequels or DLC. I want to experiment with different video styles. I want to collaborate with more people, and I want to create content that my audience actively wants to watch and looks forward to every week. The main intention for 2022 is to upload videos on a consistent basis while still trying to strive as a creator. I want to flex my creative muscles where I can, and I want to play a variety of different games whenever possible. I know these sound like vague, cliche mission statements, but it's the best way I can describe my goals for the year. I want to continue to experiment with the types of videos that I do, and I also want to take on a variety of different video projects on a regular basis. So here's to hoping that I can stick to a relatively regular upload schedule and continue to put out content that is fun and engaging. As a whole, I feel pretty confident about growing as a content creator in 2022. I've got a lot of ideas, and I think I can create them. I'll aspire to achieve a sense of fulfillment with each video that I create, and I hope to end the year with a greater feeling of success than I did in 2021. All things considered, while 2021 may not have been a fantastic year for my channel's growth, it was a great year for me to better understand my production schedule and see what may or may not be possible as I move forward. And I was able to collaborate with a ton of people throughout the year, which I only see as a positive. I actually do feel a sense of satisfaction out of the content that I created in 2021, and I want to maintain that sense of satisfaction into 2022. And I think the craving to create more polished content with experimental ideas is a good thing. I feel as though I may have kickstarted a bit of momentum, and I hope to keep it. And I hope that you'll all continue to support me throughout 2022. I'm looking forward to the rest of the year, and I'm looking forward to creating all sorts of content throughout it. 2021 was fun, and here's to hoping that 2022 is even better.